Hello, everyone. I'm Arshal. You're watching Sports 101. Another episode with baseball. Again, with the best out there. Leave on worldbaseball.com. Uh, it's Saturday here and there as well. And the first month of Major League Baseball was it's really astonishing. So much chaos and so much heat out there. Winning streaks were building, and young stars are emerging, and some contenders are ready for the playoffs. All right, joining me again from worldbaseball.com, Leaf. Let's get straight into it because there's so much to talk about this week. Starting with Yankees, the momentum. They were absolutely on a roll. I think they have just last night. I think they faced in Houston. They absolutely dominated that game on a winning streak. And does this team look like a generational year, or it's just a sort of April run here?
Well, the Yankees have a good team. Are they a great team? I don't think so. I think they're certainly a team that is probably going to make the playoffs. They're 17-9 right now. They've won 7 in a row, which is quite the opposite of the team across town, the New York Mets, who, as you probably know, had a 13-game losing streak that ended this week. The Yankees are perennially competitive. It's what the fan base expects. They're one of the richest franchises in Major League Baseball. Maybe not quite as rich as the Dodgers now, but they have the money to spend on player payroll. Now, they don't go out and spend money the way they did when George Steinbrenner, the previous owner before he passed away and left the franchise to his kids, did. Basically, if there was a guy that the Yankees needed to fill out the roster in the 1990s, early 2000s, George Steinbrenner wrote a check. They signed that guy in the offseason and they had him. That doesn't quite happen as much anymore with the Yankees as it used to. That said, the Yankees are still in the top third of Major League Baseball in payroll. You look at the lineup, they have Aaron Judge, the two-time defending American League MVP, one of the greatest players in baseball today. Giancarlo Stanton, who was injured last night, he's going to be out for a little bit, but a top power hitter as well. They're getting production from some guys that they developed. Ben Rice came out of Dartmouth College in New Hampshire, which is an Ivy League school, one of the great universities in the United States. But not typically a place where you find Major League Baseball players, but nonetheless, they found Ben Rice there and turned him into a major leaguer, and he's been a big contributor. And then, on the mound, they have solid, if not spectacular pitching. The two best pitchers right now are injured in Carlos Rodon and Garrett Cole, both of whom made rehab starts in the minor leagues this week. So, all in all, I'm not surprised that the Yankees are 17-9 and atop the AL East. And especially beating the Houston Astros, who in 2017, as basically we all know on this side of the Atlantic Ocean, were stealing signs, and that was what keyed their success in the postseason, including a 4-3 American League Championship Series win against the New York Yankees. Maybe it's especially sweet for Yankee fans to get that win last night, 12-4.
All right. From east to west, about Dodgers, especially a player, Shohei Ohtani. He continues to impact the game in multiple ways. Even in games where he's challenged, he's still right in the middle of everything. Are we yet to see a bigger prime of Shohei Ohtani, or is it's going to go downward from here?
I think Ohtani still has several good years to go. He's not young as it goes for a baseball player at 31. That's when you start to see guys maybe regress a little bit. But what he's been able to do since he came to Major League Baseball for the 2018 season has been absolutely incredible. Nobody has been able to both play as a pitcher and as a hitter and be as effective as Shohei Ohtani has since really, Babe Ruth, the guy that basically changed baseball, the first really big time power hitter superstar. Babe Ruth, of course, started his career as a pitcher. And was a very effective pitcher and played outfield on his days off when he wasn't pitching with the Boston Red Sox, then came over to the New York Yankees. And the Yankees realized that the real value in Babe Ruth was having him play the field and being in the lineup every day. And he went on to hit 714 home runs as a major leaguer, changed the face of baseball. Babe Ruth came up in what we call the dead ball era, which I talked about a little bit last week. And, before that, players didn't hit 30, 40, 50 home runs. He showed what was possible for a power hitter and changed the game. Ohtani is a star at the plate. He's hit 50 home runs or more each of the past 2 seasons and 40 in 4 of the last 5. But he's also a very, very good pitcher. Maybe he's not a Cy Young Award level pitcher, but he's certainly close. He's won 4 MVP awards, the Rookie of the Year. He's an elite player. I think we're going to see several more great seasons out of Shohei Ohtani. And every year that he's there with the Dodgers are going to have a chance to do something great with him in the lineup. Is he a little bit off this year? Sure. I mean, he's hitting 237 at this point, maybe slumping a little bit. But it's still early in the season. We're 25 games into the year. He's still got 137 to go. So, all it's going to take for him is a little hot streak to get going, and he'll be right back up there.
Yes. Talking about the rising stars this season, there are plenty of one. Andy Page, Ben Rice, Murakami. Who do you think has a higher potential this season, since it's 162 games per team? Brief about the early, they do have a good impact as of now in the league, but who all can contribute to a bigger moments in the season ahead?
There are 2 guys that I'm looking at that are only going to get better as this season goes on. One of them in Detroit, Kevin McGonigal, playing the left side of the infield. He's a rookie, just signed a big extension before he got called up to the major leagues. Basically, the Tigers have locked him down for 8 years. So he's going to be in Detroit, and he's going to develop into a superstar if he continues on the path that he's on. He's already hitting 320 with a 911 OPS. He went 1 for 3 with a run scored last night. I look for him to develop into the next big superstar in Detroit. And then in Pittsburgh, Connor Griffin, the shortstop, went 3 for 4 last night with 3 RBIs. He's 19 years old, and he's already doing that. Granted, he's hitting 214. His batting average is 214, which is not spectacular. But, first major league homer for him. Big night, first really big night in the major leagues as the Pirates shut out the Brewers 6-0. The Pirates are 15-11. They're ahead of the Brewers in the NL Central after the Brewers made the playoffs each of the last 2 years. Pat Murphy won the National League Manager of the Year each of the last 2 years in Milwaukee. But, Connor Griffin, a rising young star, compliments Paul Skeens on the mound. Skeens, of course, made the start for the Pirates last night and threw 7 innings of shutout baseball, giving up 1 hit and walking none. I mean, that's how good that guy is. So, Skeens and Griffin with Pittsburgh, I think are really the two of the best young players in baseball on the same team. And it's going to be exciting to see what they do in Pittsburgh over the next couple of years.
Yes. Now the rivalry that has happened this week, a good series. Had a lot many viewers on this one. That the rivalry that has traveled from east to west, Dodgers at Giants. Giants had a good chance getting 3-0, but the last game Dodgers just edged it out. They won at Giants. About this historic rivalry, leave 125 years and still counting.
Yeah, the Dodgers and Giants rivalry goes back to obviously the late 19th century when both teams played in New York. The Dodgers started out in Brooklyn, which is just across the river from Manhattan. The Giants started out playing in actually the Giants, when the Giants started, they played a bunch of different places, including New Jersey and Staten Island. and then moved uptown to Manhattan to the Polo Grounds where they played until 1957. The all-time series, it's incredible, right? 1289 to 1288 over all these years of baseball. And now, almost 60 years on the West Coast. So the rivalry between the two teams has gotten a lot more heated. And part of that is because there's a big rivalry between Northern California, where the Giants play, in San Francisco, and Southern California, where the Dodgers play in Los Angeles. There's no love lost between the two fan bases, and there have been some rather, kind of sad incidents with a Giants fan being beaten up pretty badly by Dodgers fans outside Dodger Stadium a couple years ago, solely because he was wearing a Giants hat, which is, just not acceptable behavior anywhere.
Yes.
Leave that crap over to, soccer fans in Britain. We don't need that in baseball. We shouldn't do that. We're just trying to enjoy a nice day at the ballpark. But, it's interesting because the Giants are not the franchise that the Dodgers are, right? The Dodgers have billions of dollars. They're worth billions of dollars, which is not to say that the Giants aren't. They certainly are. But they're taking a little bit of a different approach to roster construction. The Dodgers are going to spend whatever money it takes. And the results are there. They have won the World Series each of the last 2 years and have a lineup that really is a super team. It's hard to beat the Dodgers day in, day out across the National League schedule, and it's hard to beat them in the playoffs. The Giants, have struggled for a bit. They made an interesting move bringing in Tony Vitello as the manager after he led Tennessee to a national championship, but he's never played or coached or managed in professional baseball. I don't know that the Giants are really going to be competitive with the Dodgers in the long term over the season. But certainly, the series went to the Dodgers. They traded 3-0 shutouts. And the Dodgers pulled the series out. The Giants pulled the series out, winning the first and the final game. But over the long term, the Dodgers are just a better team this year. And, maybe the Giants can win the season series, but I wouldn't put money on
it. All right. Now, there's one interesting thing, Leap. The one I'm going to show you the clip of Logan Gilbert. I'll play out this one. So after him pitching, the ball just went inside his jersey.
Yeah, so that's...
Was it given a base hit?
So, no, that is technically a base hit. So what happens there is the ball is dead immediately when it gets trapped in the player's uniform. So Logan Gilbert's awarded first base, and the runners can advance one base, and that's it. It's not more than that because it wasn't deliberate. If a player uses a piece of their uniform to trap the baseball. So a good example of this happened in the Caribbean Series 2 years ago in Mexico, when the Japan Breeze was playing against the Dominican Republic's Leones del Escogido and Mexicali. The Japan Breeze catcher blocked a ball. It was in the dirt near home plate, and he used his catcher's mask to stop the baseball. You can't do that. The runners advance one base from wherever. So similarly, if a player tried to catch the ball in his baseball cap, you can't do that. The runners advance one base. In this case, because it wasn't deliberate, the ball's dead, and the runners only advance as far as they can be forced. It's ruled a base hit. It's not ruled an error. And it's not ruled a catch. It's just one of those unique things that happens every so often. I know it's not the first time that it's happened. I can't remember the last time that it happened. I know it's happened in my lifetime, probably a decade ago. But yeah, always interesting, always something funny to see when it does happen.
Yes. Talking about unique, now there's this one post that I would like you to see as well. It's trending on the SERP. One of the top most upvoted post in the. This is a baseball pot made out of clay. And people have actually find it very amusing over there.
Yeah, a neat little flower pot there. Baseball fans love to bring baseball into every aspect of their lives. So obviously, somebody here made it look like the cover's getting ripped off the ball and a plant's growing inside it. So a neat little piece of pottery there.
Yes. And next about this clip where Felix was welcomed.
Yeah, what a moment for Felix Reyes, right? Batting against Chris Sale, a former Cy Young Award winner, hits his first major league home run for the Philadelphia Phillies at home. Philadelphia, for those of you that have never been there, is a town that really loves their sports and their teams, and they love their players in moments like that. So undoubtedly, Felix Reyes getting a big moment there at Citizens Bank Park, and he's certainly going to be happy about that.
Yes. All right. Leif, with that, let us now come to the standings this week that have done a major change. Tell me which division do you think is the strongest as of now?
Right now, I mean, as divisions go, when you talk about the strength of a division, I mean, you really have to look at, the aggregate records of the teams. The NL Central right now has 14, all 5 teams actually are above 500. The Cubs and the Reds are at 17 and 19. The Pirates are at 15 and 11. The Cardinals are 14 and 11, and the Brewers are 13 and 12. No other division has all the teams with winning records. So I'd have to say the NL Central at the moment. Will that hold up over the course of the season? I don't think so. But for right now, to me, the NL Central is the best division in Major League Baseball.
Yes. And which division do you think will be at the strongest or the one that will have most wins at the end of the season?
Honestly, I think it's probably going to be the American League East, because I think you're going to see New York, Tampa Bay, Baltimore, and Toronto all with winning records at the end of the season. You're probably going to see at least 2 of those teams have 90, 95, 98 win seasons, and maybe 2 teams with 85 plus wins. So you could potentially have 190 wins between the top 2 teams and another 170. So, 360 wins among the top 4 teams in the division. And then, maybe the Red Sox add another 75 to that. So potentially, I think the American League East could be the winningest division when it's all said and done.
Yes. Leaf. So this week we have few good games. I mean, all the games are good, but the ones that are worth the watch. Phillies at Braves. What is your prediction on that game?
Phillies Braves tonight in Philadelphia. Long time National League rivalry going back to the late 19th century. The Phillies are just not having a great year. I don't think it's hard to pick the Braves in that one. The Phillies just really having a tough year, and even with Zach Wheeler going, it's his first start of the year. He's been good over the course of his career. First round pick of the Giants, had some great years with the Mets going back to 2013. Going to be interesting to see how he does this year. 2.71 ERA last year, 2.57 the year before that. He's certainly a good pitcher still. Is it going to be enough to get past the Braves? We'll see. The Braves have a pretty potent lineup and have been doing really well so far.
Yes, and the next one, Cubs at Dodgers. Last night they did win the game.
Yeah, the Cubs and the Dodgers, you've got Roki Sasaki going against Ray tonight. Both teams at 17 and 19. The question here is how Roki Sasaki does. He has not been great since coming over from Japan. 5.00 ERA this year so far in 54 innings of work. The strikeouts are there, but unfortunately, the dominance has not been there since he came over from Japan. He's been in the bullpen during the playoffs last year where they used him relatively effectively, but as a starter, he just hasn't been great so far. it's really going to depend on him. The Cubs have a good lineup, a potent lineup. Are they as deep as the Dodgers? No, but this is a game that they could win if Sasaki is not at his best, and he hasn't been great this year.
Yes, yes. Last night we had Astros Yankees. The Yankees winning there, a very good win for them. Astros was just blown out at home. Another start to the season hasn't gone really smoothly. With that talent, with even Alvarez, they are just not clicking consistently. And we have few more games on the Astros and Yankees this week.
Yeah, the Yankees play the Astros. The Yankees are 17-19 right now, and they've got Ryan Weathers going tonight. He's been bitten by some tough luck early in the season with regards to pitching wins and losses, which is a really meaningless statistic ultimately because it's arbitrary, but he does have a 3.18 ERA and 36 strikeouts thus far this season. The Yankees haven't faced Burrows very much. Only a few guys have taken at bats against him. Jazz Chisholm with a home run against him and one at bat. Other than that, the Yankees are 1-for-4 against him. So pitcher they don't know a lot about, but has struggled. I like the Yankees to win this game and take the series.
All right. Any games other than these three series leave this week that are notable?
Yeah, the Padres and the Diamondbacks, that's San Diego and Arizona, are playing a 2-game set that starts today down in Mexico City at Estadio Alfredo Harp Helú, which is the ballpark I was at for the Baseball Champions League last month. I've been there several times now. I was there for the 2023 MLB Mexico City series between the Giants and the Padres. I saw Trevor Bauer pitch there for the Diablos Rojos del Mexico. Baseball Champions League was there the past 2 years. It's a great little ballpark, and it's at high altitude, 7,300 feet of elevation in Mexico City. So the air is a lot thinner and the ball flies a lot further. If you were to play an India-Pakistan test cricket match in Peshawar, it would be something like that. Really thin air. The ball's going to fly a long way. And the other thing is, in cricket, if you have a spin bowler, like, as I referenced last week, Shane Warne,
Yes.
the ball is going to hit the mat and spin, or it's going to hit the grass and spin. Off of the bounce, it's going to perform the same way at altitude as it does at sea level. It's not the same in baseball because the ball doesn't bounce. So even if you spin the ball at the same rate, it's not going to react as much in the thinner air and pitches aren't going to break as much. So the first game in Mexico City in 2013, I think the two teams combined for 11 home runs, which was pretty ludicrous. And then Lamont Wade led off the second game for the Giants with a home run, and there was a collective groan in the press box like, oh boy, here we go again. It didn't quite end up with the slugfest in the second game, but if you're going to tune into one or two games and want to see some home runs, Diamondbacks and the Padres in Mexico City this weekend.
All right. I hope Astros do not get blown out tonight at Houston. Thanks, Leaf. Thanks for all the breakdown and prediction and thoughts on the games ahead. To everyone watching, let us know in the comments what they think about tonight's game, and are Dodgers the biggest threat right now, or is it Yankees? And with me, Leaf, please follow Leaf on worldbaseball.com, and Leaf, what about X?
You can follow me on X at LifeSkodnik. That's LeifSkodnik on X, Blue Sky, and Instagram.
Right. Thank you everyone for watching this for Life, and me, Harshal. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. This is Sports 101. Bye-bye.